A Gemar Chasima Tova, may this be the year when Hashem fulfills all the good wishes of your heart. My friends, there are a number of unique features in the Yom Kippur davening. One of the very interesting features in the Amidah is that towards the end of the central bracha of Yom Kippur, right before we say the last line, Baruch Atah Hashem, we talk about God as the forgiver of the sins of the Jewish people. And we say it as follows: Ki atah solchan liYisrael, you are the forgiver of Israel, u'machalan l'shivtei yeshurun b'chol dor vador, and you forego the sins of the tribes of Jeshurun in every generation, umi bal adecha, and without you, Hashem, ein lanu melech mochel v'saleach elata. No one else will forgive or forgo except for you. And then, of course, we say our bracha to conclude that central bracha of the Amidah. And it's a very unusual kind of phraseology. Ki atah solchan liYisrael, you forgive Israel, you forgo the Shivtei Yeshurun, the tribes of Yeshurun. What is trying to be conveyed by this? A number of commentaries, Rabbi Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld and the Meshech Chachma, both say the same idea. Chazal tell us that there are two sins for which the Jewish people must perpetually atone in every single generation. One is the archetypical sin that is bein Adam lamakom, between man and his creator, and that is the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf. The other one is the archetypical sin of bein Adam lachavero, between man and his fellow man, and that is the sin of the brothers selling Yosef into slavery, that betrayal of a sibling, of one of the members of one's own family, a younger brother who was counting on his brothers for security, for their protection, goes to them with love, and instead they betray that love and throw him in a pit, and then eventually sell him down as a slave into Egypt. That's what we're going to read about, really, on Yom Kippur. And there are so many allusions to the atonement of both of those sins throughout Yom Kippur. You just have to look for them and they will jump out at you. But really what this bracha is trying to point out is that in every generation, Hashem, we recognize that we are repeating in some way, either on a very large scale or on a very small scale, a repetition of the golden calf every time we forego God's honor and try to pursue some other kind of God, as it were. Some kind of thing that we place as even more important than the service of Hashem. That's once again a betrayal and a sin of the golden calf. And every time we stab our fellow Jew in the back, we betray the love that we're supposed to show to our fellow Jew. We are once again committing the sin of Mechiras Yosef, of selling Yosef as a slave. And therefore we acknowledge that in every generation we're trying to do our best to compensate for those two terrible crimes that constantly haunt us and revisit us. Another example we'll read about in the Asara Harugei Malchus, the 10 martyrs, which is in itself, according to the liturgy, a further atonement of that crime of selling Yosef into slavery by the 10 brothers. And so when we talk about this bracha, we acknowledge that Hashem, we need forgiveness from you for both. Ki atah solchan liYisrael, you provide slicha, as you said, salachti kidvarecha, I will forgive you. Hashem says to Moshe, I will forgive the Jewish people. However, it's atah solchan liYisrael, you are the forgiver of Israel, because what did the Jewish people say? Eile Elohecha Yisrael. When they talked about the golden calf, they said, this is your God Yisrael. So we say, Ki atah solchan liYisrael, you are the forgiver of that Yisrael, who used that word Yisrael to describe how we were going to worship the golden calf. U'machalan l'shivtei Yeshurun, you provide mechila, you provide forgiveness for the tribes who sold Yosef into slavery. And we call them Yeshurun specifically because that is our calling. Our calling is to be yashar. Our calling is to present ourselves as proper, kind people who are trying to make the world a better place. And look how we betrayed our brother Yosef in a complete distortion of what it means to be yashar, what it means to be Yeshurun. And understand, Hashem, that we are trying always to be that Jeshurun, that to be that yashar people that we know that you expect us to be because we're capable of it. So in the merit of our trying and acknowledging that you are forgiving us constantly for the sins that we recommit in every single generation, we hope that Hashem, you will forgive us for all of the sins that we have committed over the course of the year, both bein adam lamakom and bein adam lachavera, once we have properly asked forgiveness from those whom we've offended. And in the merit of us acknowledging that we are constantly recommitting these two crimes, we ask Hashem to provide us with the Gemar Chasima Tova. Try to keep those two images in mind as you're saying the prayers this year, and it should truly be a meaningful davening, a meaningful Yom Kippur, a day of true elevation, so that by the end of the day, we'll all be able to see, in a sense, Hashem's Shechina rising above us as we say, Hashem Hu HaElokim, a Gemar Chasima Tova, and a good gebenched year.